and welcome to the Gangneung Curling Centre. The wheelchair curling event continues with session 12 here at the 2018 PyeongChang Paralympic Winter Games. Our featured game will be Switzerland versus USA. Switzerland on 3 wins and 4 losses, USA on 1 and 6. It's really hotting up here in PyeongChang, both in the standings and the weather outside, with temperatures to reach a high of 19 degrees today. Compare that to the lows of -25 at the Olympics last month. I'm Logan Gray and looking forward to more great performances here on day 5. This is how the teams will line up. Beatrix Blaun-Thoman at the lead position, Marcel Bodenman, the second player for Switzerland. The third player, Claudia Hurtenmoser, the only person in this team who's been to the Paralympics before, back in 2010, and Felix Wagner, the skip for Switzerland. And here's Penny Greeley, 2004 bronze medalist in sitting volleyball at the Summer Games in Athens. Second player, Justin Marshall, still having a good time out here despite being bottom of the standings, this USA team. Third player, Steve Empt, giving it the cold stare. And then the skip captain, Kirk Black. That customary toothpick in his mouth, chewing on that throughout the game.
Games will begin shortly.
I'm sure the fans will be a bit more energetic once they wake up. Still very early in the morning here on day 5. 4 sheets all in action. Finland against Sweden, Germany against Great Britain, and Slovakia against the People's Republic of China. USA there at the bottom of the standings. They could have been quite a bit higher up with if a few results had just gone the opposite way. Switzerland needing to pretty much win out now if they want to get to the target 7 wins that the teams aim for. 12 nations competing, 4 of them qualifying for the semi-finals, having a go for the medals. Switzerland have defeated Great Britain, Slovakia and Finland along the way. And they'll be playing the Red Stones here in session 12. Hans Bergener, the alternate for Switzerland.
Let's go. Come on, buddy.
And USA, they've only won that 1 game against Sweden where they had a blowout by 10 shots to 2. But you know what? They definitely could have won those last 2 sessions against China and Canada. They had a couple of shots to win the game and just couldn't convert in the end. Megan Lino, the alternate for the United States of America. Well, both the teams play for the last on advantage in the first end, and USA coming out on top. Of course, both teams have 9-minute practice before the games just to get accustomed to the ice conditions before the game begins, and of course to play those last stone draws. 38 minutes on the scoreboard there for both teams to complete their 8 ends worth of stones. That's not a walkie-talkie Kirk Black's holding, it's a stopwatch. They use the stopwatches a lot to time the speed of the stones. So here's Beatrix Blaun-Thoman getting this 12th session underway here. Switzerland lost their first game to USA's North American neighbours, Canada, by 8 shots to 0, and Claudia Hurtenmoser called that game a potato. They followed that one up with a win against Great Britain, and they called that one a strawberry. So potatoes and strawberries, they'll be looking for another strawberry today. So Penny Greeley, the lead player for the USA. Using that tactic we've seen throughout the event, drawing one to the wing after Switzerland failed to get their first stone in play. Beatrix here, she likes to do some hand cycling, gardening and diving in her spare time. A lot of these wheelchair curlers seem to be into diving. Married with 2 sons and plays out of the Basel Curling Club, the home of the Swiss Cup, and hosted the World Championship not that long ago.
12-7.
The World Men's Championship, that was. Mixed format here at the Paralympics. Each team has to have one player of each gender out there on the ice. Does seem to be mostly men out there.
12.
Penny Greeley just playing this draw to the wing once more, looking like he's got a little bit more speed this time. Perhaps that line just getting a little bit faster after already playing down it. Just right on through the house.
12 seconds.
Well, Felix Wagner holding the brush. That's the aiming point for the players. This time it's Marcel Bodenmann to play for Switzerland. 51 years old. Creative designer, started curling in 2011. And he's previously dabbled with para-athletics and badminton as well. He makes a nice draw here to play his first stone of the first end. It'll be interesting to see what the energy levels are like for this USA team. They had a tough day on day 4. This is Justin Marshall, the 31-year-old. Second player for the USA.
Nice line.
Justin refers to himself as the quirky one of the team. He wants to try having some sort of a joust with their brushes with one of his teammates, but he's not managed to get any of them on board with that idea. Give me a wheelchair, I'll take you on, Justin. So Marcel Bodenmann once again, this time playing a takeout. Switzerland, of course, hosted the inaugural World Wheelchair Curling Championship back in 2002. And it was Switzerland who won the gold medal on that occasion. The only time Switzerland has won the gold medal, as we witness a complete miss there by Marcel. Switzerland with 2 other silver medals at World Championships, but not been so successful in recent years. Best performance in a while being 4th in the 2016 World Championship in Lucerne. Beautiful Lucerne. And this is a really nice stone by Justin Marshall. He's really growing in confidence as the round robin's gone on. Unfortunately, it's not really turned into wins on the board. This is the most experienced member of the Swiss team playing third stones, using that push and pull technique. Claudia Hüttenmoser, second Paralympics Games. She's a legal professional, district judge, actually. DJ. This one hits and rolls out of the rings. So here's deep talking Steve Empt. Very good player, a lot of character. A real leader on this USA team. He's a maths teacher and school basketball coach. He attended the University of Connecticut where he was a basketball player. He loves curling because of the geometry involved. It's like maths in action for Steve Empt. And at the start of the round robin, we saw him spending a lot of time up at the skips end where he could see the angles better and had more of a part to play in the decision making of the shots. But in recent games, he's been spending more time at the playing end of the ice, which is a more orthodox thing to do. You normally just leave the skips up the other end. The thinking was that Steve's needed down the playing end of the ice to energize Penny and Justin. So Claudia hit and rolled out with their first one. Comes from St. Gallen. She's missed the second one. The USA with an early advantage here. Does seem a little bit quiet out there in session 12. USA not quite as bubbly as we've seen them. It was a tough day on day 4 for them. They lost to Canada and China. Tough games, which they could have won them both really. They really put in great performances. Even had a shot to beat the reigning Paralympic champions Canada in an next round.
Good shot, Steven.
Lovely draw there by Steve Empt. So USA line 2.
Hast du einen Draw reinspielen?
Right away. Let it go a little late.
Dann musst du den wegtun, weil ein anderer kommst du nicht hin oder dort auftun. Also, da hast du mal einen weg. Dann hat er sicher nur 2.
Well, Switzerland in a bit of trouble here. They've the line 2 against, they don't have the last stone.
Ist gut so.
All they can really do is hit the open one. Anything more than that would be a little bit crazy for this early in the game.
Ja, aber wenn du nachher noch die Garde weg hast, musst du nachher gegen 3.
So I think Felix Wagner was toying with the idea of throwing the draw, but Claudia Houtenmoser thinking, oh, we don't want to lose 3 here, mate. Let's just make sure that we cut USA to only scoring 2 here. So here's Felix Wagner, the 52-year-old right-handed player. Started curling in 2008, and he had the great honour of being the flag bearer for Switzerland at the opening ceremony.
Kommt schön, Felix. 3-0.
He's made a good hit on stick here, and even manages to lie shot, so that will force USA to make a takeout. A few high fives to celebrate that one. It's a good, sensible call. Likes to have that toothpick in his mouth, Kirk Black. Helps him concentrate and focus. I'd say he's played very well the last few games. I think their performances have been a lot better than 1 win and 6 losses. This USA team. Justin Marshall moves in behind to steady the captain's ship. And Kirk Black sends it on his way. He's a motocross racer for 20 years and served in the US Army. Tried other activities such as track and field and para-archery. Makes a good hit and stick here to lie 2. Playing in his first Paralympic Games.
Von innen oder von außen?
Yeah, I know. They're taking away too.
9,5, 9,5.
Normally in the Olympics you would have seen the men's and women's teams, the skip returning down to the end with all the stones in the ice, the away end on this occasion. But just to save a little bit of time, the wheelchair curlers tend to stay down the throwing end. Has he got this one? He has, and he sticks around, so USA will need to play the same hit again to score 2. Just 1 stone to come here in this first end.
Same way.
There's been some good shots made in this first end. Choosing to play this one from in to out. Playing it curling away from the centre line. So here's the final stone of the first end.
Not work. Come on. Come on.
Kirk Black with a chance to score 2 for the USA. Needs to curl a bit more. Needs to curl a bit more. Well, that one's going to roll right out of the rings. Slight mistake, the smallest of mistakes there, but USA punished for it. They only get a score of 1 in the first end. And after 1 end, it's USA 1, Switzerland 0. Switzerland will have the last stone when we return in the second end. Bit too early to draw anything from the stats. All 4 sheets in action again on day 5. Finland, Sweden, Germany, Great Britain and Slovakia against China, just next door to our featured game between Switzerland and the United States of America on sheet D. Over here against the boards.
2-3.
That's Penny Greeley, the American lead. Second end underway. Penny being asked to throw a guard with this one. Looking for something just out front of the house. Penny's from Wisconsin.
Very nice, Penny.
Oh, and she's played a beauty there, right up tight to the house. And the added benefit of being so close to the house is that when the opposition does choose to come around the guard, there's a little bit less space between the guard and the button for them to be able to hide it in behind. A little bit less time for the stone to curl. This makes that draw higher difficulty for Switzerland. They're going to choose to throw one to the wing on this occasion though. Probably a corner guard. This one drifts into the house, right down past the tee line. Both teams playing reasonably cagey at the moment. Nothing too adventurous. USA going to play a takeout with this one.
Good line.
There you go. Come on. Come on. Very nice, Penny.
9-4-5.
And a nice hit and stick from the American lead.
Like that weight. Yep, good weight, good line, good everything. Good broom.
Steve Imp summing things up nicely there. Good weight, good line, good everything. Usually results in a shot being well played. Beatrix favouring that same push and pull technique that we saw Penny Greeley using to good effect. while
You like
not
going
using
here?
it to quite as good
Or you
effect
like
as
putting it up
Penny
here?
Crilly. And again, USA with the upper hand here in the second.
13-4 was their guard.
You know, when you look at the stats and the performances of this USA team, they're in there tied 7th in the stats, which would suggest it'd be a lot higher up. You've got Finland way down, miles below the rest at just 50% team average. They've won just as many games. It's largely just down to USA not making the right shots at the right time, and that's why we can't draw too much from the statistics. So looking a little bit speedy from Justin Marshall. He made a really slow start to this Paralympics, just couldn't get used to the conditions and the pressure of the Paralympics here in Gangneung, but he's really started to flourish in the last 3 or 4 games. That one just travelling through. Switzerland going ultra defensive here and choosing to peel the centre guard. Marcel Bodenman was actually down in the team sheet as being the 3rd player, and so maybe they've had a bit of a shuffle in the playing positions and moved Claudia Hurtenmoser up to the 3rd position.
$12.5, $12.75.
We've not seen the alternates used too much throughout the event.
There you go, good line.
A couple of the teams have brought them in at half time if a player is not performing, which is quite unusual. Mr. Marshall just needed to take a little
Very nice weight, Justin.
pound of weight off that previous draw, and he's made an excellent adjustment here. That is in
That's my boy.
A1 position. Steve Emp looks like he is having the time of his life out there. We're obviously disappointed that USA aren't going to make the semi-finals, but you know what, this USA team, they've been great to watch. A lot of fun out on the ice. And they put in some great performances too, some really entertaining games. Well, he missed on the outside the first time. He's missed on the inside this time, so maybe we're getting a bit of a taste as to why his positions changed in this team, moved down from 3rd to 2nd. It's all USA so far here in session 12. They're only leading by 1 shot, but
Yep.
from a shots made perspective, they're making far more shots than the Swiss team are.
The line.
Oh, you can hear Steve Emp throughout this game telling the stone to work. That's when he wants it
Very
to
nice,
curl
Steve.
more. He seemed pretty happy with this one as well. Another one down into the house in a great spot.
Thanks, Mom.
Well, Felix Wagner looking a little bit overwhelmed with this situation. Got a couple of options here. They could try and open up the centre again to make sure that they can score here in this second end, or they could try for a hit and roll off that stone just played by Steve Emp.
Weißt du, einfach auftun, Felix. Nuni.
Oh, Claudia Hurtenmoser not mucking about with this one. Big weight, going for the hit and roll off the wide one. It's looking a little bit wide at the moment. Will it curl enough? Curls enough to make contact, but hits on the wrong side and rolls out of play. Switzerland looking just a bit more stressed out there at the moment than the USA. I don't think USA quite as high energy as we saw them on day 4, but they're definitely looking very relaxed, and I think they could have taken a lot of confidence from their performances, even though they did lose those 2 games against Canada and China. One thing's for sure, if they continue to play like they did then, they'll put another few wins on the board this week. That one comes up a little bit shy from Steve, but blocks the way in down there on that anti-clockwise handle. Switzerland trying to drive the guard in here, open things up, hits on the nose, gets 1 going, gets 2 going. Really good shot there by Claudia.
So probably
He's one in the center line though.
They're going to run it back. But we risk.
I think I like running it in, tapping it in.
Kann ich denken?
Probably middle. No, it's probably middle.
Well, it's probably like here for the button, so right about here.
So what have we got here? Justin Marshall just getting Kirk.
You got it, Kirk.
Blackstone ready. Justin affectionately names Kirk the grandpa of the team, the oldest member of the team. Now,
half there, but they'd roll out.
What's that?
I like this way.
All right.
well, I thought they were going to play a tap initially. Kirk Black wanted to. This is a much more sensible shot. Choosing to come around the clockwise. If he played the tap on the yellow guard, he risks opening up that shot stone that's already in there. They can get a similar effect with a much easier shot coming down the other side. One thing to be aware of is the ice conditions have been a little bit more tricky on the outside of this arena. On the right hand side there next to the barrier. It's looking a little bit light at the moment. Has it got the running to get down there into the house? I don't think so. Comes up quite a bit shy.
There we go.
15-5.
Now, Switzerland have a couple of options. They either come around and follow that same line that Kirk Black just threw, or they might try and get rid of that yellow stone in the house.
Nuni.
Well, they're going to go for the latter of my two options. They're going to try and make a takeout on that yellow stone in the house. Need to be tight to the guard here, and they don't want to risk chipping that USA stone into the house. So Felix Wagner with his first stone at the second end gives it the old heave-ho.
Very nice.
Oh, hits and sticks, great shot. extremely tight to the guard. That was a great shot to stick around. See Steve Emps, a great sportsman. He'll applaud even the opposition's great shots. Well, no point in leaving this one around for the USA. They're going to try and play the takeout on the wing here. Oh wow, that's a huge miss here from Kurt Black. And you know, they've really dominated for the first two ends here. That's kind of been their story of the week. They've not managed to turn that dominance into shots on the board. It's just been putting those final touches on that's eluded them.
Ja, 12,5, 13. I think it doesn't matter. I think sorry. Yeah.
Well, this one is just going to sneak in the front door. It just tumbles over the doorstep and gets in there to score two. Woo! Big puff from Felix Wagner, gets two on the board for Switzerland. And I think they must be thinking themselves pretty lucky that after two ends they lead USA by 2 shots to 1. Well, USA have been the better side overall, but trailing on the scoreboard after that last stone miss by Kurt Black.
Yeah, that was too open.
Debrief continues at the back of sheet D for Team USA. Beatrix Blal-Taman getting the third end started. Switzerland needing to make a few more shots. The 2 big misses from the Swiss second. So he'll be looking to bounce back with a better performance here in end 3. USA just, I think they're going to take an end just to catch their breath here, try and rebuild after the disappointment of that second end to give up that deuce. They'll play a takeout here with Penny Greeley. Just curls across the face and chips it out. Volunteers at the back of the playing area just tidying the stones up, and they're also down at the playing end of the ice, the guy there standing next to the stones, helping getting them ready, cleaning the bottom of them, getting them out into position so that the speed of play is maintained and the players can get the game played within their allotted 38 minutes for the 8 ends. Both teams have a 1-minute timeout as well, which can be used at any time throughout the match, and the coaches will come down and consult with the team. Penny Greeley, the only player in the USA team who uses that push and pull technique. Just latches it on, pulls it back and generates some momentum. All the other players using the GTX delivery sticks. Will it grab? It does. Still touching the 12-foot circle, still in a scoring position. Switzerland, you would think, will remove that stone. Well, they're just going to take that yellow stone out of play. No stones in play really here in N3. Probably not a bad thing for Marcel Bodenman. He's had a couple of wayward ones. Like a good one here though. This is a much better shot by the second player for Switzerland.
Nice shot, bud. Probably 12.75.
Oh, USA mixing things up a little bit here, and they're going to go for the freeze out wide. This is one of those GTX delivery sticks. Slightly different. It'll be a straightforward action here from Justin Marshall. And these ones probably, I wouldn't say there's controversy by any means, but they're investigating the different delivery sticks and the use of them and what ones may be most suitable and fairest. This one, maybe, if there is one that's causing any controversy, it's this one, in that the physics involved in the delivery of the stone, it automatically almost creates the rotation that the players are looking for. So it's maybe one less thing for them to worry about. So there's a bit of a survey going on, being conducted by the international governing body, the World Curling Federation, about these delivery sticks. The players are being asked for their opinions, and the coaches. That'll be all collated and maybe inform future rules. Might be some changes going forward to the next Paralympics. Curling's had its own discussions as well in recent years about sweeping in the men's and women's games in the Olympic format, which has led to the standardization of the materials at the bottom of the brushes. Everybody using the same ones now, and the traditional use of the hog hair brush is no longer allowed. They all look the same as that one that Kirk Black's holding.
I realize it's still on me out. I don't know why it's 12.6.
Now the thing about these delivery sticks though, and the standardization of them, is you don't want to stifle innovation either. If somebody comes up with a great new idea that gives them a chance to be more accurate, then why not allow them to do so? It's like being in the bobsledding and creating a bobsled which reduces resistance, is more streamlined and goes faster. It's all part of the game. Well, that was a nice pocket for Justin Marshall to make the freeze into, and he's over curled.
Okay.
Switzerland line two and hoping to put a third one in here.
Wir haben aber nicht den letzten. Okay.
They're just trying to block the path in here for the USA to try and make that freeze again. It's looking a little bit heavy, and it's going to go down and rumble their own red stones. They're lying three. Still a nice big pocket there for the USA.
We just take that out. Let's hit this. Okay.
This is maybe one of the one of the differences between wheelchair curling and the Olympic format. It's quite a nice big pocket for USA if they wanted to come down and tap it back, but without the benefit of sweeping and two people over the stone looking after it, then the in-between shots, the little tap backs and soft weight takeouts are a little bit more difficult to control for the wheelchair curlers. Well, makes a double here though, just squeezes that one out. Good shot there by Steve Empt.
Ja, nu niet.
Switzerland just going to remove that stone now. Should be pretty straightforward from here for Switzerland. USA not really managing to generate any dangerous offense. This one just rolls out. Now will USA go back to the freeze?
Yep.
They will.
Big 12-5.
12-5.
Well, the nice thing about this situation for the USA is that there's no stones on the center line. That's really ideal for the team with last stone. Means there's not really any risk. They can try and do something out on the wings, and if it doesn't quite work out, then hey, it's okay. With their last stone, they can just throw a draw down onto the button and get that 1 point. There's no risk of losing any steals. Steals being scoring when you don't have the last stone. This looks pretty close from Steve Empt.
There you go, very nice.
It's very close. Keep going, keep going. Oh, just another couple of feet would have been great there from Steve Empt, but a good attempt.
I know. 13-3.
Was it Justin's 12-5?
12-5 with Justin.
So anywhere on the nose or left-hand side here for Switzerland. They could even run into their wide yellow next to the foam bumper and jam on there to lie two. No points for being out on the inside. I think if I was a wheelchair curler, I would have a setup like Felix Wagner. He's got that little sleeping bag on there with the Swiss flag. Keeps him nice and cozy. I think that would be ideal, really. There's times out there in men's curling where I'd like to be a bit warmer myself, so I imagine it's not that warm when you're out there playing the wheelchair and you're not moving around, you're not sweeping and that sort of thing. All helps to raise the heart rate and keep you warm.
Just off the center line.
On the inside of it?
Yeah.
That one didn't quite squeeze into the house. Continues to chomp away on that toothpick. This USA team were talking about what snacks they've got with them, and they've brought peanut butter and all sorts with them. I wonder if they've got a big tub of toothpicks as well for Kurt Black. He gives them a right good chew during the games. Well, they've had a few attempts at this draw. Looks pretty good here, looks pretty close.
Come on.
Is it going to make a freeze on that wide stone?
Down.
Not quite, but finds a useful spot. The only difficulty here for the USA is that it's a straightforward shot for Switzerland to get rid of that one, and they don't really need to stick around, so just get it out there, and it looks like USA will have to score one, which isn't really what they want to do. The orthodox strategy to scoring in curling is that you try and score more than one with the last stone and force your opposition just to take one. So if USA scored one, that would really be a bit of a victory for Swiss. A mini victory anyway. So anywhere on the outside here for Felix Wagner. Running a little bit tight. Just manages to deflect it off the wide one and rolls in for second shot. So well done by the Swiss skip. He was a little bit worried for a second. If that curled any more, then that Yellowstone may have just stuck in the rings. Finds its way through though. No harm done. Kirk Black had a bit of a disastrous takeout to finish the second end. He'll be looking to bounce back with more solid delivery here. Final stone of the third end. Needs to hit this stone on the button. Looking a little bit wide at the moment. Needs to work and curl its way back into the middle. Oh, hits and rolls out. It's going to be a steal of one. That stone on the wing on the right. Just touching the 12 foot. Another score for Switzerland. And
Am I giving you too much room on the takeout?
I guess so.
Claudio Hüttenmoser looking quite content with the score in the early stages here in session 12.
9-9.
3 ends played and Switzerland leading by 2. Well, good stats on the draws for Switzerland, but they've played a lot more takeouts and stats not so promising in that department. It's the most important stat of them all, though, the score line. And it's Switzerland off to a 3-1 lead here over the USA. A couple of unforced errors from the American skip. So the 2-shot lead, you would expect Switzerland to be a little bit more defensive now. Not that they've been particularly aggressive to this point, but they'll start to think about preserving their lead and try to limit the scoring of the USA. Long way to go in this game. Still 5 ends to come.
2-3.
12-7.
Well, a rule that benefits the team chasing the game is the free guard zone rule, and Penny Greeley will look to benefit from that here. Throwing a guard which should be outside of the house, and when it's in that white area outside of the painted scoring area, then it can't be removed by Switzerland. Not until the second stones have been played, so when Bodenman comes to play, then he'll be able to remove those stones, but until then, if Beatrix Blau-Thoman did remove that stone, then it would be replaced, put back in play where it was before, and the Swiss stone would be removed. So this rule was invented in the early 90s in Moncton, actually, in New Brunswick, in Canada, and this is a rule which would help the team chasing the game to get back into it and just stop the team winning the game from just smashing everything and running the game home. Makes it a little bit more exciting and interesting for us as we go into the next cycle for the Olympics and the Paralympics. Then we're moving from a 4-stone free guard zone to a 5-stone free guard zone, which will create more stones in play and should be a more high-scoring game as well. It's been tested quite a bit in Canada over the last few seasons and finally been adopted and accepted. Well, that Swiss stone was just touching the house and could be removed. This one not touching the house, but now the free guard zone rule is over. So Switzerland could remove that yellow stone if they wanted to. I wonder what Penny Greeley was saying there. A little hand over the microphone. We just need to let out a little sweary word. An aggressive call here from Switzerland. They choose to throw a guard. Well, it's given USA something to think about, but they'll be quite happy. There's a few stones in play here. They can start to generate some offense.
Okay.
You got this, buddy. I like it. More. A little more. A little more. A little more. Come on. Feel.
Very nice, Justin.
That's a nice stone.
Well, USA choose to open up the centre of play so they can get at that stone in the button. So obviously causing them some discomfort knowing that Switzerland have one right down there on top of the 1 foot circle. That one just sneaks into second shot position. Bodenman.
Roll either way, it's fine.
Yeah, you roll the other way, it's fine.
I would imagine USA will take this opportunity to remove the stone on the button. Don't want to fall any further behind in this game. It's still just a 2-shot game, so they can still play with a reasonably balanced mentality and not go gung-ho to try and score multiple points.
9-6. Very nice.
Good
Very
shot
nice.
by Justin Marshall, the left-hander.
Booyah. Booyah. Nice job, buddy. 9-6.
Switzerland hoping to return the favour here. A little bit wide and just peels it out. So now USA can hit that front stone to lie to.
Yep.
I think that would have been a little bit of a heart and mouth moment there from Claudio. It's hanging a little bit wide for a while, but curled up nicely and gets the job done. I love those rims on the USA chairs. It's just like seeing your playing top for the first time. When you get those USA rims on your chair, then you know you've made it. You're at the Paralympic Games, competing at the top level, achieving your dreams.
That's on me, Kurt.
Don't worry.
My bad.
Oh, this is wayward, to say the least, from Steve Empt.
Yep.
Misses by a good half stone there, and again, USA and a chance to take the upper hand, and the door is open. They just can't walk through it.
Ja. 13. 13.
Schön pacen.
Okay.
Another one in there from Switzerland, now line 2. And USA will be kicking themselves at the moment. They had a great chance there to set up a multiple score. Now on the back foot here, and then
Yeah.
4.
Just hit the
I
broom
think your
this time.
last one was a little heavy.
Just hit the broom.
I think it's just the speed that beat the last one. He can get a lot of weight behind these stones, Steve Empt, and throw it extremely hard. And as soon as you start to throw it hard and put a lot of rotation on it, it can run very, very straight.
Come on over. Come on over. Come on over.
Well, it's trying for you, Steve. Oh, it's
There you
trying
go.
very hard.
Good shot.
Great shot by Steve. Makes up for that previous one. Much more controlled weight, allowed it to work and curl its way across the
Gotta
ice,
redeem myself somehow.
and even hides a piece underneath that red.
Wie schnell kommst du? Was ist 9,5?
This shot looking a little bit more complicated than Felix Wagner might have thought it would be.
Überlegen, Spieler.
I don't think we'll see anything too heroic here from Wagner. He just wants to really get that stone out of there.
Aber nur leicht, hè?
So skip stones here in N4. Felix Wagner going for the takeout on that yellow stone, and it's wide away. He's on the wrong side of the center line. It looked like a bit of a jerky delivery, and this one isn't going to reach its intended target. Hangs wide, and this end really swinging back and forth here in N4. USA with a chance now to tie the game up going into the halftime break.
I like punching that over a little bit, but
Even if you hit this, punch it out and roll over with the shooter.
no, I don't like that.
Do that, we split the house.
I think we split the house.
Okay.
Edge of the 4.
All right.
Well, split the house is the call. Splitting the house involves throwing one to the opposite side of where they're already lying shot position.
Just draw to the other side, Kurt.
So they're drawing out to the open side. And by doing so, they're putting their stones far apart so Switzerland can't make any sort of a double takeout on them. That's the idea anyway. Black also using that GTX handle on his delivery stick. just needs to be fully in the 8 foot to score to lie to. Got a bit of running to do here. He's come up short.
Move out.
Another let off for Switzerland.
Disregard. Shot, second, third. Mit was für eine Geschwindigkeit?
Gleich wie vorig, aber auf der Besen.
Vorher ist ein 8,8 gehabt.
So this is just the same shot again here for Felix Wagner. He didn't look happy with the last one, didn't look comfortable with the shot. Can he make the necessary adjustment to get Yellowstone out of there? Don't need to worry too much about where his shooter goes. Looks like a better line this time though. Oh, he's just chipped it and doesn't get it far enough. A wry smile on the face of Felix Wagner. Oh, it's a cruel game. That only had to go a few more inches and they'd be lying short with that red stone in the house.
Give me a little bit more, bro.
And now just a draw to the 8 foot to score 2. Kirk Black getting the vote of confidence from Steve Empt. Just needs to put an extra 6 feet of weight on his first draw. I think both teams would be relatively happy to get in at halftime. I think that would be a fair result for it to be a tied game.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Well, it looks heavy at the moment here. Looks heavy, needs to stop in the white circle. And this one's going to career right through the house. More mistakes here. It's been a first half full of mistakes really from both teams. That's a point there for the USA in the 4th end to close the game to 1 shot. Teams get a nice 5-minute rest now to go and take on some snacks and fluids, have a chat with the coaches, and when we return in the 5th end, it will be Switzerland 3, United States of America 2. Everyone having a rest, a little bit of time out from the game. Wisconsin well represented out on the ice and in the stands. It's been a far more consistent performance for Switzerland throughout the team than the US. 69% for Felix Wagner, despite that miss in the previous end. Talked about the snacks involved. Don't see any kimchi in there. Then you compare that to the US stats, playing pretty well throughout the team, but then Kurt Black just struggling to put the final touches on. His stats quite a bit lower than the rest of the team, just 50% for the tournament.
13-3. And then the next one was like a 12-5, and then man in the same, and it curled like 3 more feet.
There you go. 12-5, 13-3.
Yeah, yeah. And man in the same exact spot. Yeah. So it's
You go down the path, the same path a couple times, so 3 times.
I mean, it's normal. Great ice. Yeah. I think I am giving Kurt a little bit too much room in the takeouts. We talked about that. So I'll give him a little bit. I'll give him a little less.
And just don't change your weight. And just don't change your weight too quick.
Yep.
Okay? You guys are, I mean, you throw good weight, so you take our weight. I'm very happy with what you see in this game. All right.
Sounds good.
What are these big
It was interesting to listen in on the team conversations. USA throwing more draws than Switzerland. That's probably down to the kind of the quality of the play by the USA in the front end. The lead and the second player playing particularly well and forcing Switzerland to play takeouts, but the problem so far has been just USA not managing to put those finishing touches on. The USA team having a good discussion about the ice. They're struggling a little bit to find some consistency, but overall quite happy with the ice. But also Steve Empt thinking that they're over-icing his takeouts. They're not curling quite as much as they think they are, so they're going to bring the brush in a little bit to give them more chance of making more shots.
Hold stick, sit down.
He goes, oh, that's good. I see it. SK, you are the man. Let me tell you that. You're the man.
He's what?
You will.
Oh, he is.
Stimmt gar nicht, es ist schade.
Felix is in the
Schlag auf der
bathroom.
anderen Seite. Mit Cake.
So Kurt Black and Houghton Moser make their way down to the other end of the ice. Felix Wagner's just nipped off for a quick trip to the little boys' room and will return shortly.
Very nice, Penny. Got to work.
16-4. Just throwing Penny.
Well, a good guard there from Penny Greeley. Just crawls over the hog line a little bit longer than he would like. Switzerland are going to choose to draw to the wing. This is Beatrix Blal Toman.
Weiter auf dieser Seite, gell, Trix?
63% for the game so far. Claudia has her stopwatch out, ready to time between the two hog lines so they can get a good read on the speed of the ice. Helps them to make future shots. And they'll time both their own teams and the opposition's. The stop clock will stop here probably.
13-8.
Comes up a little bit shy of its intended destination, but still a good corner guard there. Could be useful later.
12-5 should be good out here.
Doesn't spend that much time setting it up, Penny. You see a lot of the other players being far more meticulous with their pre-shot routine, getting everything the same every single time, whereas Penny just seems to give it a bit of a yub, and she's yubbed this one right through the house. Well,
Ein 13.
Claudia asking for a very difficult draw here from Beatrix. It's a very narrow gap to slide one between the centre guard and the corner when you're coming on this anti-clockwise rotation. They need to get really close to the centre guard here to give themselves a chance. Looks like it's going to crash into the corner guard. It's actually a pretty good attempt there by the Swiss lead in what was a very difficult shot.
Got this, Jay.
So here's Jay, Justin Marshall. Having a good game, 66%. The stats been rising all week long as the youngest member of the team. Black calls him little brother.
Very nice, Justin.
Yeah, baby.
Makes a good hit and stick as well. He can throw it really hard, Justin Marshall, but extremely accurately, the left-hander.
Nice job. Not bad.
50% for Bodeman. We've seen a couple of errant takeouts. Started the week playing third, but moved down.
Ganz schön besser. Schön, Marcel.
This is a good shot, just to get it out of there.
Ganz schön.
Well, now
7-5 for doing
USA will look to try and bring the play into the centre of the ice. The guard's a little bit longer than they would have liked. The guards would like, or you would prefer the guards to be closer to the house. If Justin Marshall makes a good come around here, then should still be a chance for a soft weight takeout for Switzerland, just because the guard's so long. There's so much time when you pass the guard for the stone to curl and get to where you want it to. Looking a little bit inside at the moment though. Oh, chips the guard.
13-1.
It's a poor shot there from USA. Shouldn't really have been anywhere near that guard. Even if it had sneaked by, it would have curled way out the other side.
Yeah, not enough room.
Dritta!
Willst jetzt du zwischen dem Gelben und dem Roten durch?
Nein, zwischen den Galen.
Ist aber wenig Eis.
Well, there's obviously a lot of curl off this barrier side of sheet D. And both teams will need to be aware of that and make sure they take plenty of ice to make sure they get past the guards. Bodenman has been much better in his draws than he has in his takeouts in the first half. He's looking a little bit on the speedy side at the moment. Oh, but actually comes down nicely and in behind the guard. Really well worked there by the Swiss second. Perfect
Take
shot.
that guard off.
Yeah, let's come this way though.
Yeah.
Right? We might be able to, I
Yeah.
can see half of it.
Get by the guard, you got it.
Yeah,
Now you take the guard.
I can see half of that.
You want to go for? You like going after it, or you like taking
I like
the guard?
going after it. If we peel the guard, we peel the guard.
Maybe you should get behind the stone.
Once you go back, we'll go after it with a tight room.
Well, so often when you're calling shots, you know what your preference is, you know what the perfect shot would be, but it's about giving yourself a second option as well. And that's what the USA are doing. They would love to go get that stone in the house. With the guard being so long, it's very possible. But you know what, if they're going to miss that shot, then miss it on the inside and they'll chip the guard over and open up the shot for a takeout with the next one. No points for being wide on this one. Not putting too much weight. They want to get some curl on the stone to increase their chances of making it. So he misses it on the inside, but still opens up that shot for a takeout next time. The only problem with that approach is sometimes if you think too much about where is acceptable for you to miss the shot, then quite often you don't give yourself a chance of making the plan A. Moser having a good game, 59%. Switzerland now drawing one behind that guard that Steve Emp chipped over. And a good example there, not quite as much curl coming off that centre line. We've seen it be quite straight when you come across the centre. There's a bit of a tendency for the shape of the sheet of ice to be a little bit dished, so it swings a lot from the outside into the middle, but then when you start going back up to the wings, then it can run a little bit straighter. I'll take out again here for Steve Empt. A nice controlled weight takeout. So USA lying, but Switzerland looking good for a score of 2 at the moment here in N5. And if they could ever get that, then that would open up a 3-shot lead.
Yeah.
Aber hör auf mit... Nein, nicht du.
Ah, jetzt habe ich gemeint auf die andere. Auf die andere Seite.
So takeout on its way here. Claudia Moser. Well, this one's going to roll out. Is it? No, it hangs on.
All right, take this one.
Felix had to spin. Nicely thrown. The spinner.
Looks like he's having a great time, Steve Emp. That just clinging on to the 12-foot there. So Kirk Black only 34% through the first half and really needs to get something going in the second if he wants to give his team a chance. Unfortunately, the skip position is the one that you just can't afford to be making mistakes. Your team can be playing 100% through the first 3 positions, but if your skip's only playing at 34%, it's going to be very difficult for you to win the game.
Stay. Come over, come over, come over, come over.
Well, it could roll right over towards that white stone. Oh, not quite. Hits it on the nose, lies in shot position.
Sorry about that.
I have shoes on.
Crunch the toes.
Da wachsen aber jetzt nicht vor.
Ja, 9,5. Schön Centerline. Schön
USA
auf
not
dieser
really
Seite
putting
bleiben.
any pressure on Switzerland in this 5th end.
Aber, ja.
Felix Wagner looking pretty comfortable. Seems to be part of his pre-shot routine is fixing his hat, make sure it's on correctly, and then he spins around and gets himself set up, breaks on. 69%, terrific first half, making twice as many shots as his opposite number. It's looking pretty good. Oh, and even checks underneath as well. That could well be hidden by the guards. So what do you do if you're USA here? Do you draw around or do you hit the open one? If you hit the open one, you give up two really automatically. I think they'll go for the draw here potentially. No, what do I know? They're going to hit the open one here. Actually, if they get it really good, maybe they can hide behind that red guard for this left. Don't really want to be falling even. 3 shots behind with just 3 ends to go.
Stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there.
Well, does enough to get it, but doesn't stick around in the house. So it's going to be a draw to the paint for 2 for Switzerland. Anywhere in the house to score. And Switzerland starting to take a stranglehold.
12,5, ja. 12,5, 13.
This is looking short at the moment. Needs to get a piece of the house for 2. And it has stopped short. Can you believe it? More mistakes in this game here in session 12. Day 5 of the wheelchair curling. Just the 1 point for Switzerland in an end that looked throughout like it was going to be a score of 2 for the Swiss. So just the 1 in the end though. USA still in this one, very much so. Just trailing by 2 shots with 3 ends to come. USA still struggling with that draw game, only 46%, and you compare that to the Swiss 74, then that's really where USA need to improve, especially trailing by 2. You need to get stones in play, you need to make draws, and that's what they'll be focusing on when we resume in the 6th end. The 6th end underway here. Switzerland throwing one into the house.
Yeah, little inside. Play looks good though.
Once again, Penny Greeley throwing the corner guard, looking pretty good here as it crosses the PyeongChang 2018 logo.
14-2.
Very nice.
Perfect spot. That is exactly where you want your lead to put the corner guard. Right on the edge of the 8-foot circle.
A little tired there, Justin Marshall.
Another one in the house would be good for here for the Swiss. A lot of the players with almost an upward motion of their delivery stick when they play. The textbook says that you kind of want to go down and through the stone, so you kind of quickly flick your brush up in the air, then you can throw it offline. It just rests in alongside. So USA, do you choose to come around the guard, or you could choose to move some of these red stones? Nice low delivery there from Penny Greeley, keeps the cue low, keeps it online, trying to make the hit and roll over towards the corner guard here. Well, looking close. Great shot by Penny Greeley. Doesn't quite get behind the cover, but starts to drift the play towards that corner guard where they can get one hidden. Getting pretty close to the corner guard. Oh, just sneaks by. Makes the takeout. Great shot. Oh, it didn't have a lot of rotation on it. Makes it curl and just passes that guard by the smallest of margins. Gets that yellow stone out of there. I wouldn't have been smiling if it had just touched that guard and deflected past. It really is a game of the smallest margins.
Beautiful weight.
Really nice draw there by Justin Marshall. Gets a piece hidden under that yellow guard. Starts to give Switzerland something to think about. They are lying in shot position, but USA won't be too worried about that at this point. They're trying to force a mistake from Switzerland, and when they, if and when they do get it, then they can make a takeout on the one in the house. They got pretty close to the guard this last time. Passes more comfortably this one. And sticks around to lie two. Will USA go for the draw again? No. Looks like a double takeout being asked for this time. He's having a think about it though.
Even if you just do this, that's okay.
Kurt Black again giving his players options.
Good line. Beautiful delivery. Sit. 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 Yes, Justin. Very nice.
Great shot there by Justin Marshall. Rolls right over behind the corner guard, lying in shot position as well. That's the kind of shot USA were looking for. Give them a lift, inspire them to try and get a couple of shots back in here, begging for it to stop. Great shot by Justin. You can see here that that's right in behind the corner guard. Really forces Switzerland to play a draw. They wouldn't have factored in for this at all. For the first time in a while, the Swiss under a bit of pressure here, a bit of heat in this sixth end. Going for a big weight takeout here, not going for the draw. It looks like just a peel being called, and that is a disaster for the Swiss. Just the faintest of touches on that guard deflects it offline. Saw Marcel Bodenman getting really close to that guard. He managed to get by it. Claudia Houtenmoser not quite as lucky, just the faintest of touches. And USA all of a sudden are thinking, oh wow, here we go, we've got a chance to score 3.
Sounds good to me.
Well, this is a nice call. I'm not sure if USA are lying short or not, but I think they're going to try and play a freeze on the Swiss stone in the house. And a freeze is when you just come down and rest your own stone against another one. In this case, it's a Swiss stone. And by doing so, it makes it very difficult for the opposition to remove it.
My bad.
No, you don't want any bad ones at this point, Steve. You've got a great chance and you need to convert. And it's like they get in these positions, they force the mistake, and then they just don't convert. Is the only complaint you would have of this US team. It's like maybe they get a bit nervous or a bit uptight and the execution just goes. It's almost predictable. So Claudia Houtenmoser is going to get another bite at this one. This time she does peel the guard and open up that back one.
Come around the same way.
Yeah, that weak guard that is through.
You got this, Steven.
12-5.
There's still a guard there for USA to use, though. They can come around that stone just played by Steve Empt. Still a chance to score 2 or 3 here for the USA. Gone very quiet out on the ice. USA not quite as exuberant as we saw them on day 4. Perhaps that's due to the fact that it's impossible for them to make the playoffs now. Already on 6 losses.
Sitting high.
Just really playing for pride.
Get over more. Get over more.
Nice shot, Steve.
Good shot, Steve.
Well, Steve, where was that one the first time? That's a great shot there by the
US, come on now.
The third player for the USA.
Warte mal geschwind.
Claudia just trying to ascertain whether USA are lying too. She's having a good look at it. It does look from this angle that USA are lying too. If that is the case, then Switzerland will probably be forced to hit that wide yellow stone. the open one. They don't want to risk giving up 3.
Oder willst du Timeout? Felix, willst du Timeout? Hä? Timeout? Okay.
Claudio Hüttenmoser pushing for the timeout. And the coach will make their way down. This is Stefan Pfister arriving on the scene. Going down to discuss with the team. Now he's arrived. A 1-minute timeout will begin.
Nein, es ist so, kannst du nicht sagen, ob der Gelb besser ist. Okay. Ja, richtig, ja. Ja. Ja, okay. Jawohl. Ja. Jawohl. Ja. Okay. Gut. Gut. Gut.
Well, I can't speak Swiss German, but I can tell you if I was out there coaching, I would have been saying we cannot afford to lose 3 here. We can still have control of this game if we only lose 2. And as a result, we should hit that wide Yellowstone, and that looks exactly like what they're going to do. There you go, there's that little fix of the hat, put the stopwatch away, tap yourself in the head, and then get ready to play a great shot here in the 6th end. Skip stones to come. Just 2 stones for each team left here. 69% on the takeouts here, and that's what he will be playing. So how's this one looking for Felix Wagner? It's on its way, crosses the hog line and makes a hit, but rolls out of the rings. Now,
Yes, sir. You got it, buddy.
the next decision for USA here is, do you split the house and put one back over there where Switzerland just made the takeout, or do you try and make another draw around that guard to try and score 3? Looks like they're going to split the house from where Steve Empt is positioned at the
you
moment.
Like hitting this and rolling over? Good.
No.
Looks like they're going to split the house here, so they're just content to score 2. That would get them right back in this game. And perhaps a better call here as well for the USA, given Kurt Black has really struggled throughout this game. It's a much easier shot here to draw out to the open side than to make the draw around the guard and risk leaving a double takeout for Switzerland. Certainly got plenty of running at the moment. Needs to be almost touching the 8 foot to lie 2. That's a perfect shot by Kurt Black.
Good draw. Thanks.
Really good stone. Maybe that'll just give him a little boost as we come into the business end of this game. So it's just the same shot again, really, here for Felix Wagner. Just needs to make that yellow USA stone disappear, that one just played by Kurt Black. And looks like it's pretty good. They would like to stick around. They do. Lies in shot position, and that will force the USA to play a takeout rather than a draw, which just makes it a little bit more difficult. Still, a skip at the top of his game. Should be making this shot most times out of 10. Certainly if you had Wang Haitao, the Chinese skip, playing this one, you would be very confident he would make it. Kurt Black not been at his best today, but a chance to convert a deuce here in the 6th end. Looks a little bit tight at the moment. Needs to stay straight for the 2. And he just hangs on. Well done by Kurt Black. 2 perfect stones. And then 6 ties the game up with just 2 ends to come. It's a 2-end shootout here in session 12.
Let's go, guys. That's it. Where we got him.
After 6 ends. It's a tied game. It's 4 each. All 4 games still out there. All the teams continuing to battle for their place in the semi-finals. Only 4 spots available, 8 nations all competing. And as we progress slowly but surely, they drop off. USA already out of contention on 6 losses, but Switzerland fighting for their championship lives.
Start us off, Penny.
Yep.
Penny Greeley to start the 7th end. The first score of 2 in the match for the USA coming at the 6th end. Coming at the right time as far as the USA are concerned. And this one's still anyone's game. Kurt Black making 2 good shots in the 6th end, so maybe he's starting to turn the corner after what's been a difficult game for him. Well, what USA didn't want after scoring 2 in 6 was to throw one into the house. It's a big mistake, because the free guard zone rule not in effect on that stone with it being in the house, and Switzerland can just blast it. Switzerland would be more than happy with a blank end here in 7. This one's curling. Has she even made contact? Yeah, just gets a piece, gets it away. Good shot there by the Swiss lead.
Go, Penny.
So USA with another chance to bring the free guard zone rule into play. Needs to be short of the house on the centre line. Looking pacey again, though.
3. Nice stone. Good. Great shot. Yep. Beauty. 4 foot.
So right down into the forefoot, and Switzerland will play a takeout again. I wonder if the coaching staff are thinking that this might be a valuable teaching point for the US team. Tie game, playing the 7th end. You're really wanting to be forcing a score of 1 either way. If you're USA right now, Switzerland will be very happy with the way this is developing. It's playing right into their hands. Still though, there is a long way to go in this end. Still time for USA to try and develop something. nice takeout here by Blautemann.
Set him up, knock him down.
So Justin Marshall this time to play the takeout.
Looks pretty dang good. Yes, sir.
So looks like another good takeout by Justin Marshall. Starting to play some good stuff, the American second player. Well, it's been an excellent display of takeout play so far in the 7th end. Marcel Bodenman trying to continue these hit and sticks. Sticks around once again. This is quite often the difference between the good teams and the great teams, is knowing how to work the scoreboard when you get down to the closing stages in the game. Trying to get yourself in a position to have a shot to win the game. It's a tied game. In the moment, Switzerland are managing this 7th end far better than the USA. USA don't seem too perturbed about it. But Justin Marshall's just hooked this one a little bit. Will it even make contact? It won't. It won't. It slides by.
Next one.
Justin Marshall with a huge miss here, and now this is an even better situation now for the Swiss. They've got a chance to split the rings, and what would be even better than a blank end for the Swiss is a score of 2. And if they can do that without taking any risk, without there being any centre guards, then this is really ideal for the Swiss. Well, Marcel Bodenman doesn't put a lot of handle on the stone. You see, that's just made it to about 1 rotation, if that. And it means the stones stop quickly and they curl a lot as well. And that one coming up way short of its intended destination. There's a bit of a let off there for the USA. And Steve Empt can try and tidy this up. So a good shot by Steve Empt. Sticks around too.
984. What was it?
984.
98. Thank you.
Watch him pass off.
Ist aber Hinterhus.
Hä? Das ist 9.
Takeout once again here for Switzerland. This is very much how the end was always going to pan out. As soon as USA threw their 2 draws into the house, both teams seem quite happy just to run this end through. But USA have to be starting to think this would not be a good situation for a blank end.
We're going to try it, might as well go there. Big 12-5?
Yeah. I think it was about 13-3 last time. 13-2.
Justin's was 12-5.
His was 13-20 right there. That
Okay.
red stone.
Yeah, 12-5.
12-5 will do it.
Well, somehow USA have worked an opportunity here. Steve Empt coming around the corner guard. If they could get one hidden, maybe they can still force Switzerland to score one. They'd be very lucky to do so, because for me, they haven't called a good end here at all.
Nice stone.
That one doesn't quite get hidden.
Great for him.
I really think there's a great learning opportunity for this USA team if they were to watch back this end. It's about managing the scoreboard effectively. And if they knew what the acceptable outcome was in this end, they would know that a blank end is an absolute disaster. A really clear example of that is if you, for example, were playing in the Briar, the Canadian Men's National Championship, and you were up against a team like Brad Gushue. If you blank this end and go down the last end against Brad Gushue, the 2006 Olympic champion, you would have something like less than 5% chance to win the game. And it's about playing the probabilities, playing your best chances to put yourself in a position to win the game. Whereas if there was a score of one either way, you're looking more at like a 50-50. So it really does make a big difference, and it's about understanding those things, understanding how to work the scoreboard in your favor. That was a good shot there by the Swiss to hit and roll to the back line, and we're back to looking like it's going to be a blank end here in 7.
Hold the line, hold it. Hold it. Hold it.
Oh, and he's missed. He has missed.
Do you have time on that?
Switzerland with just 3 stones to come in this end. Well, you think it's going to hit, and so much curl at the end, it slips right on by.
It's in the 9.
Just to labour the point a little bit further here about the strategy, like you see in the Olympic format of curling, teams without the last stone in this situation pushing so hard to make sure that there's a score of 1 that they can potentially lose the game here in the 7th end. You see like 3s and 4s going just because they're pushing so hard to try and steal or force the 1, because they know that if they go down a tied game without the last stone, then their chances of winning are very small anyway. But now, after that open miss from Kirk Black, after playing 2 great stones in the 6th end, Switzerland with a chance to lie too. This looks very nice from Felix Wagner. Switzerland lying too. They're looking like big favourites in this game all of a sudden, just when USA hit back to score 2 in the 6th end and tie the game up. Looks like they might well give 2 straight back here.
Get it.
Get the other one too.
Nearly makes the double. Great attempt, but now Switzerland are just going to have to hit the paint for 2. Anywhere is good, wherever you want to put it, Felix, as long as it's in inside that teal 12-foot circle.
Aue 12,5.
This is looking short. We saw him miss one short earlier on. Well, can you believe it? Can you believe it? USA have played a very poor end strategically, and they've got away with it. They've forced the one.
All right, let's think this out.
Got him right where we want him.
Wieso
have
willst du
hammer.
nicht
Center line
mit
guard,
dem
right?
Stein
We
spielen?
need one.
Center line guard.
Wow,
Any guard is fine.
that's all I could say about that. After 7 ends, Switzerland 5, United States of America 4. Well, that was almost a chance to win the game there for Switzerland. And Felix Wagner just had to hit the paint to score 2. Comes up short, not for the first time in this match. And it is a one-shot game coming home and still anybody's. Maybe the sight of the winning line a little bit too much for Felix Wagner there. He knows that Switzerland need to rack up some wins and quickly if they want to have a chance of staying in contention for the semi-finals. Final end here in session 12, the 8th end, the last one in regulation time. And Beatrix Blau-Thoman gets us underway. You would expect the general setup usually to be that this one comes into the house, comes into the 4-foot circle. Comes up a little shy, but still in a useful position.
Last one was 12-8.
It was interesting to see the discussion between the American players
Good line.
after that draw came up short by Switzerland. They seemed really excited. They're like, oh, okay, hello, we're still in this game. What do we do? They weren't expecting that miss at all from Felix Wagner,
Good guard, Penny.
who's been pretty solid throughout.
14-8.
He's put 64% for the game. That's a good corner guard there from Penny.
Yep. 1, 2, 3.
3, 4, hè?
Be a similar stone here for the Swiss lead, trying to come around that tight centre guard that she threw with her first one. Really awaiting instructions. That's a terrific draw from Beatrix Blau-Thoman right round onto the 1 foot, and that's going to be something that USA will have to deal with at some point. They'll have to move that.
Good job, Ben. Ran that path out over there, though. Nice job, Ben.
Well, USA getting one around the corner guard. So they've got one in there. They might be able to score 2. Looks like Switzerland are going to play an offensive end here. So I believe a guard called here for Swiss. Oh, maybe not. That was quite a big throw there from Marcel Bodenman. Gave that one a little bit of a heave. Well, I think he's just a little bit too heavy for the guard, but maybe he's going to get a good one. If this one curls right down on top.
Bravo, Marcel.
Really well done.
Wunderbar.
Really well done. Well, USA don't want to risk giving up a steal here overly. I think worst case they would want to go to an extra end, so they are going to play a reasonably balanced end and try and give themselves a safe chance to score 2 where they can still score 1.
Stay. Right there.
Stay.
Right there. That's a beauty, Justin. Get over it. Go over top of it. Get over top of it. All right.
Really good shot there by Justin Marshall. Spins it up and over. Gets those 2 yellow stones, 2 red stones, sorry, off the center line. Get up over there. Good shot.
Onderwammer. Is een beetje gevaarlijk. Is een beetje gevaarlijk. Claudia, kom maar snel. Claudia.
Well, all of a sudden, the situation not quite as straightforward for Switzerland. The experienced head of Claudia Hüttenmoser making her way down the ice to survey the land.
Ja, dann mal Team spielen. Aber oder Spiel nach vorne Beginn gehalten und nachher mit dem Schuss. Da vorne her.
Ja, aber dann tust du natürlich anstoßen. Du musst direkt hinter der oder von außen her hinter der Uhr.
Eben, ich meine, da so irgendwo. Oder ich darf da vorne um 12 Fuß liegen bleiben.
Ja, und er hat eine wunderbare Länge jetzt gemacht.
Ja.
Also, das ist jetzt wunderbar gewesen. Wir können auch noch mit gleich wie vorher.
Ja.
Also,
Ja, genau.
gleich wie vorher. Genau gleich wie vorher.
Well, honestly, I've no idea what they decided on here. Claudia, the district judge, coming down to hand down her order. Well, it's going to be a draw here. They're going to try and thread one between the 2 stones near the center line. Had a good draw with his first one. Just needs an extra few feet of running on this one from Marcel Bodenman. This one's curling early. Is it going to get past the guard? No, this one's going to get hung up on that guard. Just pushes it into the front of the house.
What are you thinking?
I don't know. I mean, you got this.
That's what I'm thinking right away.
Right.
If we peel it, we peel it. We run it back, we're good. We open it up if we miss it. I like that. I mean, there is a draw here. That port's there.
No, I know the draw's there, but...
No, I like you hitting this. It's the 3rd stone. You trying to go after that?
Try to tap it back, hit it back.
I think we just go after it hard.
Try just hitting this one?
No, I say hit that one.
Yeah, with the 12.
Yeah. I mean...
Okay.
We're not going to nose it. We're either going to peel it or we're going to run it back to the red.
Want to call timeout, or you like that?
No, I don't think, not yet. I don't think so. I think we're in agreement on it.
Okay.
All right. Gonna hit that with a 12, Justin.
12?
Yeah.
Well, they're going to hit that yellow stone in the front of the house and try and drive it towards the Swiss red stone.
Plenty of stones. No harm done. You got this.
Seem quite happy just to open it up. I'd be quite keen to keep this yellow stone in the house is the only thing. give himself more options to try and get a multiple score on the board. They could just throw a kind of lighter weight here and play a tap up. That would, or even a split on that yellow stone. Might just help build up some yellow stones around the house.
That's a great miss.
Hey, what are you talking about? Miss.
Well, he's missed it altogether, and he's gone straight through and made the takeout, and he even kept the back one. What a shot by Justin Marshall. It wasn't what was called, but what a result. They're clearly over the moon with that one.
What? That's what we call it, right?
USA are riding their luck right now. Well, Switzerland lying 3 against now. Felix Wagner looking a little bit perplexed down there. And no wonder.
Ich probiere von innen. Bist genau Center.
Ja, leicht nebenzu.
Trying to get as much yellow granite going as possible here. Unlucky not to get the second one, but does leave that red in second shot position.
You want to guard that?
What's that?
You don't want to guard that?
We're only one right now.
Okay.
Like going over here.
All right.
Like splitting the house.
Be 12-5?
Even in is fine.
Yeah.
12-5.
Well, just a draw here for Steve Emp, trying to get another Yellowstone in there. Only lying 1 after a pretty good shot there by the Swiss. Looking short of legs at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really poor stone there by Steve Emp. Leaves the centre guard as well. Now, Switzerland will likely play a takeout on that yellow.
Willst du ihn lieber von innen?
Wie?
Willst du ihn lieber von innen oder von außen?
Ich bin gerade am Studieren.
Claudia Hüttenmoser could even get rid of both of those stones here.
Ja, von innen.
Both the yellow stones in the house, and then life would be really difficult for USA to score 2.
Nö.
Kannst du den Beet rausnehmen?
Ich weiß es nicht, aber eine sicher.
Alle knapp the center line.
Well, Switzerland just need to be a little bit wary that the stones can run a little bit straight up the centre. Should know that by this time in the game. Claudia Hüttenmoser maybe a little bit inside and never got over that centre line where the brush was. Well, just a little bit inside, stuffs it, but Switzerland lying shot stone with that stone furthest, or the kind of north end of the white circle.
No. Draw one in.
Are we 1 or 2? What?
What's that?
Are we 1?
We're 2. You can take this one. Be 1, 2.
Yeah, we got to draw in. We don't like drawing this way, though?
Yes.
It's fine.
Yeah. Just throw it. I'll make this one.
That's where they're going.
Right.
Steve Empt is positive
12-5?
mental attitude.
Yep.
He is like, I am going to make this draw 100%. He's just had a practice shot at it. It's exactly the same one as he just played. Needs to put an extra 9 or 10 feet of running on it to get into shot position. Looking pretty good at the moment. Much better weight here.
Ball 5.
Start working. They're working.
Oh, this is a lovely draw. Lovely stone by Steve Empt right down onto the button.
Great shot.
USA line one. They've got the third shot as well, which could still come into play. Well, Felix Wagner can still see probably more than half of that yellow stone, so he could just put a takeout on it. That's what he's doing. He's not taking a lot of ice either, so must be throwing a big weight at this one. Well, they're just going to try and clip this one out of there and leave themselves lying at the front of the house. Tense moments here at the end of this 12th session game between Switzerland and USA. We're down to skip stones and it can still go either way. Felix Wagner sends down Switzerland's penultimate stone in this game. Looking wide at the moment. Has he got a piece? Oh, he misses it and gets the back one. Now, USA could play the same draw again right round here to lie two. They need one to go to an extra end or two to win the game outright here in the eighth end. This one just slips on by and it's advantage USA here. Kirk Black with a chance to put USA in a winning position. Well, how's this one looking? Kirk Black looks a little bit less pace than Steve Empt. Gets past the wide guard, needs to be touching the 8 foot to lie two. Needs to go, needs to go. Just comes up a morsel shy. Lying third shot though. Now Felix Wagner with a chance to make the double.
Oder wenn einer Schreiber und Korb machen, lieber Takeout.
Ja.
Okay.
Nicht?
Mal.
Weil der ist hier gut möglich. Wenn du auf der Nase hast.
Da, kommt schnell. Müssen schnell, oder?
Ja. Kommen wir geschwind runter.
Kommt schnell runter. Wir müssen etwas besprechen. Komm, ja, ja.
Ja, ja.
Well, they seem to have plenty of time, so I think Felix Wagner just calling down the support from his teammates. Want this to be a team decision.
Oder second, oder machen jetzt sogar vorne.
Aber weißt du, Felix?
Das Zusatzcenter, wenn man den letzten, aber man gar nicht kommt.
Ja, eben. Lieber draufknallen.
Was meinst du?
Weil den können sie nachher wegspielen.
Ja, genau. Lieber draufknallen, hä? Gut?
Wie schnell kommst du?
So wie vorne.
Gut.
Hä?
Auf die Nase.
Well, decision made, whatever it is. They could try and play some sort of a tap down the right-hand side, but for me, it only looked like there was ever going to be one shot, and it's to go for this double takeout. To put the two out of the question for the USA. Looks like he's got a pretty good line here. It's not too far away. He's got one. Has he got them both? Oh, he has. What a shot from Felix Wagner. Spins it far enough as well to lie to. Brilliant play, and there spins both of those yellows from the house, at least from the scoring position, and lies to.
Oh, we got the draw. Yeah, do you see anything else over there from that side?
The only thing is draw this way, but you're drawing.
Yeah, you're drawing to the backside.
Leken wir jetzt mit zwei.
Felix, da ist ein affengeile Stein. Bravo.
Leken wir mit zwei.
Jawohl, Short und Second.
Sehr gut.
Doch. Der hinten ist third.
Ja, gleich da.
Might as well.
You want to take time out?
We got it.
So timeout called.
Rusty needs some TV time, anyways.
Yeah. It's like, what, 10 o'clock home? Yeah, they're all watching. Get us some Schreiber time.
Die kann ich nicht mehr
There he is. Coach Rusty Schreiber, Team USA. One of the best. Handsome looking devil, I'll tell you that.
Er wahrscheinlich aufs Zweite rausgelaufen.
So Rusty Schreiber,
I don't think you
the
draw
American
this way.
coach, comes out.
And I don't know if you draw this way because you tap this one. So I think what you do is you nose this one and then you're shot.
The pause.
Yeah, this side is totally out.
Yeah.
Whether you want to go that way.
It's either the draw or the hit.
Well, he's trying to get a 360-degree view of this one, going right round the other side.
Can you get inside that? Can you get inside that one there?
Yeah.
I mean, it's fully exposed.
Yeah, I mean, just the nose is all you need.
Yeah, nose will do it.
Nose, you will be shot.
Pardon me?
Nose, you will be shot.
Yeah, that's what I think it is.
Also ich bin nicht nur reingekommen, die ersten zwei, drei Entscheidungen.
Well, it's times like this that you wish you could make the stones bounce. When you've got a wall of stones across the front here, or even if you could have like a helicopter or something to get right over the top there and down onto the button.
Nice big bend here, but if you like the hit, then you got to throw what you like to do. But that's your two options.
Okay.
Okay, I like what you like. Thank you.
All right, so.
Oh, it's annoying that when people do that, isn't it? It's, what do you like? What do you want for dinner? I don't mind. Just have, we'll have what you want to have. That's what Rusty Schreiber is saying.
9-5.
But he's absolutely right.
Yeah,
it's
probably,
very
yeah,
much
be
down to how the skip feels,
9-5.
about what shot they're going to
Great
make
shot, Felix.
to extend this game.
9-5.
USA can't win the game from here, but they can lose it. They need to score one to force the next round. So you had two options here, both down the right-hand side as he looks at it. Could, or the left-hand side now. You could play a draw around to just where Steve Emp's positioned and get one there. But this looks like an easier shot to me. You could make a nose hit on this red stone. Well, the good news is he's playing much better on the anti-clockwise rotation than he is on the clockwise. 58% for Kirk Black on this anti-clockwise handle. He'll need a 100% shot here if he wants to extend this game. So it's on its way, the final stone of the 8th end.
Stay out, stay out,
And
stay out,
Kirk
stay
Black
out.
needs to hit on the nose. It looks inside at the moment. Needs to get past the reds. Well, he's hit the wrong one. It rolls out. It's a steal of 2 in the 8th end for Switzerland.
Good luck the rest of the
And
way.
they are going to pick up their 4th win of the week, moving to 4 wins and 4 losses.
Yeah, 2 red.
USA again, so close, but so far they really deserve to be better than their 1 win and 7 losses record this week.
Good luck.
Just a few key misses at the wrong times, really costing USA throughout this round robin.
Thank you very much.
Switzerland still in contention. They really need to kind of win out from here. They've got 3 more games in the round robin,
Good game. Congratulations.
and they'll be aiming to get to that 7-win target. I think they'll need to as well, with 4 teams already at 5 wins or better. People's Republic of China already at 7. Nice wave from the USA support. Final score here in this 12th session of the round robin. Switzerland 7, United States of America 4. And that was the last game out on the ice here in session 12. A very steady performance throughout for the Swiss. Good play by the backhand, Claudio Houtenmoser and Felix Wagner. And that double takeout. What a shot from Felix Wagner with his last of the game. Kirk Black only at 45%. USA setting up the American skip, but I'm just not managing to finish the job off at times. 3 stolen points. Really the difference in this game for Switzerland. None for the USA. And of course those draws for the USA way down on the Swiss efforts. Lots of school kids in to experience the Paralympic Winter Games here in PyeongChang. Getting there an early experience of live sport at the highest level. Sure, picking up some life lessons as well. Some guy having a nap in the middle as well. Someone give him a nudge. Oh, there we go. He's awake. Well, what an exciting game here in session 12. Switzerland defeating the USA by 7 shots to 4, but it could have gone the other way quite easily. It was Felix Wagner who delivered that final blow to the USA with that terrific double takeout with his last stone. Kirk Black couldn't match it to extend the game, and Switzerland stay alive for a place in the semi-finals. They go to 4 wins and 4 losses. Thanks for watching.